This season, two of the best quarterbacks in college football happen to be playing right down the road from each other, and both teams have high hopes for 2025. Both located in the state of South Carolina, the Clemson Tigers and South Carolina Gamecocks participate each year in the Palmetto Bowl, featuring one of the longest-standing football rivalries in the southern United States, dating all the way back to 1896. For Clemson, they're led by Cade Klubnik, who finished third in the nation with 36 passing touchdowns last season. The former number one high school recruit leads a talented Clemson squad looking to win their first national championship since 2018. For South Carolina, LaNorris Sellers leads them through the difficult Southeastern Conference with both his arm and legs. The freshman quarterback led his Gamecocks to 6 straight victories to close their last regular season, including a 17-14 win over Clemson in the 2024 Palmetto Bowl. Both quarterbacks have future first-round pick potential, but which stands out above the other with the college football season fast approaching?
Blue 58! Blue 58!
Welcome back inside the Turfed Football Podcast studio. As always, I'm your host, Kieran Drover, and I hope that you all enjoyed that cinematic intro. I am not much of an editor, but this rivalry is so cool between Clemson and South Carolina, and as I've done summer scouting, if you will, quarterbacks are first, and I found these two guys very polarizing, exciting, and different in their own ways. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down their strengths and weaknesses and what you can expect heading into 2025. Both of these QBs are potential first-round picks, and if all goes right, maybe even first overall picks. Stick around and find out what I think about Cade Klubnik and LaNorris Sellers. Up first is Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik, standing at 6'2", 210 pounds. To me, Cade is built to be the ideal modern NFL quarterback thanks to his arm talent and athleticism combination. He put together a fantastic 2024 season against top-level competition, leading Clemson to an ACC championship berth and the college football playoffs. 36 passing touchdowns, was ranked third best in the nation behind only first overall pick Cam Ward and eventual NFL draft pick Shedeur Sanders. His strengths, it all starts with arm talent to me and a lack of hesitation to pull the trigger. 28 big-time throws, was ranked tied for 5th in all of college football a year ago. He has a fantastic deep ball and a great connection with his number one wide receiver, Antonio Williams, who I also expect to be an eventual first-round pick. Cade is at his best when he is in rhythm and everything is in sync. I think he has a very good command of the Clemson offense. He's aware pre-snap of where his answers are going to be, has a good understanding of what the defense is in, and then post-snap executes at a very high level. I was also impressed with his maturity, which I believe is way beyond his age of 21. You see a lot of college quarterbacks hold onto the ball, try to be heroes, put the cape on. Just a 2.3% turnover-worthy play rate and 6 picks in 2024. He also has sneaky breakaway speed. His rushing ability is a lot better than I think people give him credit for. He had 7 rushing touchdowns, over 400 rushing yards. And remember, in college, when you get sacked, that counts as negative rushing yards. So a very impressive dual threat resume for Cade Klubnik in 2024. I would love to see him play within an NFL offense that's going to take advantage of his skills as a rusher, like Dabo Swinney has done at Clemson. He is very comfortable throwing under pressure. Some struggles early in the year when a team like Georgia, a very good defense, was disguising some of their blitzes, but he ended up grading out as the NFL's strongest passer against pressure, according to PFF. 15 touchdowns against the blitz last year, 0 picks. Moving along to Cade's weaknesses, and the first of which he cannot improve on. He's only 6'2", which would be undersized for the quarterback position at the NFL level. And I think at times it may have slightly affected his accuracy last year when he found himself off platform or flat-footed or tippy-toed to see over the offensive line. He did have a tendency to either overshoot or underthrow his receivers. He was quick to throw the ball away if his first 1 to 2 reads weren't open. I mentioned he's best as a rhythm passer. So when everything is in sync, it's great. When it's not, and he is flat-footed, or he's on his tippy toes, or the opposing defense takes away his first or second read, he does struggle a little bit. His post-snap processing could speed up just a touch, but returning to a national championship level team in terms of talent at Clemson with a great coaching staff will give him an opportunity to improve on those weaknesses And if he can do so and lead the Tigers to a national championship, I think he has the potential to go first overall in this year's NFL draft. And I'm already expecting him to be top 5 to 10, no doubt about it. And now it's time for South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers, who might be the most polarizing prospect at any position in the 2026 NFL draft. At 6'3", 242 pounds, he profiles as a high-ceiling quarterback who needs to improve as a passer, but has the tools to become an elite NFL playmaker. Let's start with his strengths, and first things first, the rushing ability is off the charts. 47 missed tackles forced as a quarterback last year. He might be the best I've ever seen at extending plays and escaping sacks, not just in college, but even in the NFL. For reference on the whole missed tackles forced thing, Saquon Barkley had just 39 in his final season at Penn State. Sellers had 47 at South Carolina as a quarterback last year. He's comfortable under pressure, almost too comfortable because of his size, and he's definitely not afraid to stand in and deliver the football while taking a hit. But his greatest trait is that he has the knack you want from any franchise QB, and that is third or fourth down playmaking, DNA. When the defense does everything right, he can pull a first down out of his ass. Like we've seen from Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, even Joe Burrow over the years. And that is the Mount Rushmore of current NFL quarterbacks. This is a quote I really like from Twitter. It was from Brett Coleman from 2020 when he was actually evaluating Jalen Hurts, who people have mixed opinions on, but he did just win a Super Bowl. Even if the tape isn't pretty 100% of the time, find a guy who is tough, mobile, accurate, and has ice in his veins under pressure on 3rd and long. Those are the 4 ingredients for success, and that sums up LaNorris Sellers. I think he is more accurate than people give him credit for. 64.8% last year was actually better than Klubnik, who I have graded as the better passer, no doubt. And for those comparing him to Anthony Richardson, which I get in some respects, his completion rate at Florida was 53.8%. LaNorris Sellers absolutely has arm talent and threw multiple very impressive deep balls on tape last year with South Carolina, but he does have a lot to improve on, so let's get to the weaknesses. At the end of the day, LaNorris Sellers is a very exciting prospect, but, big but, he needs to improve as both a passer and processor. Nothing will get him benched faster than an offensive coordinator scheming up a huge play down the field and him leaving it right there on the field. To me, his biggest weakness was that he hesitated to pull the trigger. Far too often, he'd be staring down an open receiver in the seam or the intermediate to deep part of the field and just not let it rip. You'd think he'd have some arm arrogance, right? He has all the talent in the world, but his 2.91 second average time to throw, ranked tied for 4th highest in the nation. He clearly has a reliance on his rushing attack and not enough confidence in his arm. A 4.6% turnover-worthy play rate also stands out. That was ranked tied for 5th highest in the nation, and it cost his team games last year. Go back and watch the game versus Alabama. They absolutely could have won that game and gotten into the college football playoffs and perhaps the SEC championship. But LaNorris Sellers sold it with 2 fumbles and an interception. These are the kinds of things that, thankfully, he will be able to improve upon this season at South Carolina. Keep in mind, he was just a freshman last year, making the first starts of his collegiate career. I do expect him to get better, more comfortable, more careful, and we'll see how high his ceiling can be as he improves in 2025. Finally, I wanted to explain why I made this video today. Cade Klubnik versus LaNorris Sellers, rivalries from their school aside, are the epitome of the debate for NFL first-round quarterbacks in today's age. 10, 15, 20 years ago, forever, Cade Klubnik absolutely goes off the board first. He's the better quarterback, and that's what he's being drafted to do. He's a better passer, a better processor, and he's definitely not an athletic slouch himself. But LaNorris Sellers' talent level is off the charts, and if an organization or coaching staff believes enough in themselves that they can improve him even marginally as a passer, and pair that with his athleticism, his talent, his rushing ability, he has the chance to become an all-time great and a franchise quarterback. Lamar Jackson was told to be a wide receiver at the NFL scouting combine, and now he's the face of the Ravens and will go down as one of the best all-time great QBs in the history of the sport. Now, I'm not saying LaNorris Sellers is going to be that. Look at Anthony Richardson. He came in with huge size, big traits, a big arm, a rushing knack, and now he's a bust. Maybe the same happens for LaNorris Sellers. But if he improves as a passer and pairs that with what he can do on the ground, he will be so dangerous to opposing offenses. Right now, I have Cade Klubnik as the best quarterback in college football entering next season. Yes, Arch Manning has a ton of potential, but I don't know if he's going to declare for the NFL draft next year, and he's only played a couple of games at the college level, whereas we know what we're getting from Cade. LaNorris Sellers might not crack my top 5. But, again, if he can improve as a passer, like we've seen from a Lamar Jackson, from a Josh Allen, etc., his talent and his ceiling is crazy high. And I'm very excited to see how this debate plays out this season. Thankfully, we will get these two squaring off in the final week of the regular season, I believe, in the next edition of the Palmetto Bowl between Clemson and South Carolina. LaNorris Sellers took it last year, like I mentioned, a 17-14 win with that awesome clutch rushing touchdown. Of course it was at the end of the game. We'll see if Cade can snag that trophy back. And then eventually, we'll see who goes higher in the first round of the NFL draft. Right now, my money is on Cade Klubnik, but don't look past the emergence of LaNorris Sellers in 2025.